kind of realigns you back to your purpose. And I feel like so much of this dunya is revolved around us forgetting our purpose and falling into shapa shaitan, that if we don't purposely take time out to come back to Assalamu alaikum, hope you guys are doing well. So I know I said that Ramadan I was going to do a little bit of a shift in content, and then anytime I've had to film videos I've just had a lot of hauls, and honestly I still have a few more hauls to go. I have a Temu haul coming up, and then I've got like a big high-end and just makeup haul actually in general coming up. But I wanted to jump on here and just have a little chat with you guys all about all things like to do with Imaan and where I'm at. And the thing is, I do look a mess. I know I look a mess. I am very tired right now. So I'm just going to be doing my skin prep, and then I'm going to be showing, like, trying out a new product. Excuse the mess in the background. It's currently wedding season and things are just everywhere at the moment. I'm trying my best to keep on top of it, but yeah, it's a little bit crazy. So I just started off with the essence, and then I'm just doing with some hyaluronic acid. But I think obviously, like, in Ramadan you're on such a Imaan high. For me personally, oh by the way, oh I almost forgot, I have like a beast on my nostril. It's actually one of the biggest spots I've ever had, and it's one of the most painful ones. It started off as like an underskin bump. It was swollen, it hurt to put makeup on, hurt to cleanse my skin, it was horrible, and it's finally come to a head. This is going off on a side note, but I was just like googling how to safely pop a spot, and they said that they recommend, the dermatologist was like, I recommend you don't pop spots like near your nose because it could cause blindness. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna stick an acne pimple patch on it and leave it be. Yeah, it's currently Sunday, so I've got a wedding in a week's time inshallah, but obviously Eid in the middle, so hopefully by that time it just goes down. So yeah, obviously Ramadan is a time when your Imaan is at the highest. It has to be because shaitan's locked up. And for me personally anyway, like this past Ramadan was one of my best Ramadans. It was like probably one of my top 3 Ramadans of my whole entire life. I have never felt so spiritually connected. It was just like amazing. I was able to be so much more consistent than I've ever been before. I think my key thing was like not overdoing the goals element of it. I mean, I still did put goals that were way higher than I actually managed to achieve, but it wasn't an overwhelming amount. And I also, this time in Ramadan, I also really did schedule my day out more, and obviously because it was a very quiet season, I didn't have much photography work going on. I was alhamdulillah in a position where I was able to, which was amazing. So yeah, feeling very grateful for that. Obviously, like, because I was on such a spiritual high, and in general as well, I was thinking like I do want to start shifting my content a little bit. So I do, obviously I just say as well, like I do still love like beauty and lifestyle and vlogging, and I know you guys really do enjoy the vlogs, but I'm kind of out of practice of vlogging. Like I vlogged a little bit over the last weekend where we had the wedding and stuff, but it's very hard like on busy days to actually vlog. I don't know how people do it. I guess if you're making loads of money, like that's just like something that you're gonna do, but because it's not like at the forefront of my mind, I always forget, and then I'm like, I was supposed to vlog that, that's pretty annoying. But I'm gonna try the Wilder skin food for the first time. This is supposed to be really amazing, and I got this from Holland & Barrett. So I basically said that, and then I feel like every time I've like gone to post a video I felt really sheepish, because I'm like, I said I was going to switch up some of my content, and there's been no switching up of content at all, and I need to try it a little bit. This is, by the way, this is thicker than I expected. I don't know why I thought in my head it was going to be very similar to the embryo lace, but it is not. It is a lot thicker, a lot less emollient, but it feels good on the skin. The skin could do with this. I'm just getting so distracted. But basically, yeah, I just felt like a little bit embarrassed because I've just not been able to make content like related to it. And do you know what, there's this massive imposter syndrome as well. Like I kind of touched it on that video, where I feel like if you are going to come up and speak about Islam, you almost feel like you have to be doing XYZ or have XYZ qualifications and this and that, and the only way I can think of that really makes sense is imposter syndrome. I just feel like I kind of, every time I start thinking about it, I'm like, but who am I? Because I'm so far from anywhere close to where I want to be, that why should I be making this content? And then I'm like, no, but there's people out there like you who would appreciate the content, so just do it. So it's just constant battle, and when I think about it, it probably is more shaitan being like, no, you're not good enough, like you shouldn't talk about things like that. And obviously, like I said in that video as well, like I would never be giving like fatwas or talking about fiqh at all. Absolutely not. There's literally thousands of videos on YouTube are going to cover that so much better, and by actual like learned people, so there's no way I'd ever try and do that, right? But what I want to do is just sort of bring a realistic, like honest perspective, and I think that there is a space for that really. When I say it out loud and I speak speak about it. So guys, sorry, the battery keeps dying and I'm like, is this a sign? But no, I'm just gonna try and like speak a bit quicker. So obviously in Ramadan, my man was like up here. I'm sure all of us was, alhamdulillah. And then like inevitably there was a dip, and now I'm like in the phase where I'm like trying to bring the Imaan back up to doing what is just outside what's obligatory, obviously, like outside the fard. I'm going to be honest, I'm not going to lie, sometimes even doing the fard is a bit of a struggle sometimes, but yeah, you've got to try, right? You've got to do your best and you've got to try. So I'm just going to use the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer as well. I had to analyse, like, first of all, in Ramadan, what was, other than the fact that we're in Ramadan, you know, Shaitan is locked up and we're in one of the most holiest months and the most precious months. What is it about Ramadan outside of that I felt like it was one of my best Ramadans ever? And ultimately it came down to my routine and my time, right? And the time I spent. And obviously when Shaitan's not whispering in your ear, you're not going to be wanting to spend as much time like watching pointless content or like pointless reality TV or TV in general, films, etc, etc. In Ramadan you don't really want to do that. Like you're generally geared more towards like just leveling up Islamically. You are just on such a spiritual high because you're wanting to put more time into learning. All of the Yaqeen Institute series was just incredible. Mufti Menk had his series out, like, and the thing is, these videos are around all the time, they're around year round, but there's just a pull and an urge to absorb more knowledge and learn and try and level up, and you're just more hopeful. And I think it has to, like, when I really stripped it back, I was like, it's got to be something to do with the amount of time that I'm putting into my like spiritual side of things. And obviously, like, outside of Ramadan, like none of us are able to maintain that same level. But I think where a lot of us make a mistake, and then obviously I can definitely speak for myself, is that we kind of go from like 100 down to like maybe that 20-30 doing the bare minimum. It's about trying to keep a sort of momentum. Now obviously I'm not saying that we should try and keep at the same level as Ramadan the whole year round, because it's just not realistic. And I think when we try and set unrealistic, unattainable goals, that's when you can feel really disheartened. But definitely try and keep to at least like a 50% of what we were doing in Ramadan. So then I was like, you know what, like I need to bring back some of the tasks I'd added into my routine specifically for Ramadan. I really need to bring that back into my routine for day to day. And one of the things that I've started doing recently, going back to like my Islamic studying, now I say it like that because it's nothing like towards a qualification. I'm not doing this like at an institution, you know, it's not anything formal at all. But I'm literally just using YouTube, guys, and YouTube is such a fantastic resource, and it's so amazing like how much we can actually gain from YouTube, and it's a free resource as well. I mean, I do pay for YouTube Premium because honestly once you go adless, very very hard to go back. And because I'm literally like I always have YouTube on, I kind of have justified it like that, and I sometimes use it for working out as well. Anyway, for the most part, you know, like for most people don't use YouTube Premium, and they just use YouTube for free, and there's literally countless amazing resources out there for very very beginners, and that's what I'd count myself as. I would not say that I'm anyone learned or anyone who have any kind of knowledge at all, genuinely not at all. But that doesn't stop the thirst for knowledge, and it doesn't stop the need as well for knowledge, because I feel like Islam really does push education and to read and to understand and to have a solid understanding yourself, so that, you know, when you do things and when you live your life and when you're performing these actions, you're performing with a conviction. And even if that conviction is literally just because I'm doing this because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said it to me and I don't need to know any other reasons, still, like, just being able to top up on your knowledge and top up on your reminders and stuff, it just really does strengthen your iman. So yeah, the first thing was like identifying the habits that I was doing really subconsciously that were sapping up so much of my time. Like, I downloaded the Tetris game on my phone, right? I'm not saying you shouldn't download games on your phone. I'm not saying that, but tell me why I'm on like level, I don't know, like 500 or something, and I'm just literally just constantly just like on the game whilst I'm like watching something as well. Why am I spending so much time like just watching pointless stuff and like playing games, when in Ramadan like time seems so much more precious? Now obviously it was to a certain extent, but at the same time what we do year round is really important. And they also say that like if your Ramadan was accepted, you know that because you're able to continue your acts of worship and you're able to continue on a certain level outside of Ramadan. And when my Iman dropped and when I had the dip, I just felt really low. I was having such a good time, like my mom was so high and maybe it wasn't accepted, and I just started like overthinking, and again that's shaitan. And then I had to just like shake myself off. I was like, no, first of all, analyse your time, look at your routine, look at the spare pockets of time that we all have, and then think, what am I doing in those? And then be realistic. Like, I'm not saying cut everything out completely, but strip it back. At least bring in some of the good habits that you were doing, whether that's memorization, whether that's like listening and reading and gaining more knowledge, you know, whether that's like doing charity outside the house. You know, you've got to do what you've got to do to continue to keep that level of Iman up. And for me, definitely, like, so far it's been just dedicating, like, I say I spend like between half an hour to an hour every single day, and this is very recent as well. I don't want to like be here like, oh, I've been doing this for so long, like I really haven't, but I would say I spend a good half an hour to an hour a day now just like doing Islamic studying. So basically on YouTube, whether you have the free version or the paid version, you can create playlists. I love the playlist feature. I create playlists all the time for literally every single thing that I could think of, like clothing, cooking, baking, and like Islamic videos and stuff. So on this Islamic videos tab, I've literally been saving videos on there for like a good maybe 2 years now. So you can imagine there's literally hundreds, if not like nearing to 1,000 videos on there. And they're all different lengths, all different topics as well. So some of them are like 2-3 minutes long, some of them are just du'as, and then some of them, actually they're just du'as, but some of them are like du'as and they're like about 2 or 3 minutes long, and then some of them are like 10-minute reminders, and then some of them are like half an hour to an hour to an hour and a half long, and they're obviously much more in-depth level videos. So yeah, and it's amazing how much information is out there, guys. So that's been a massive help for me, because just that little daily check-in of listening to someone who is much more learned than I am, who's got much more knowledge than I have. And like the other thing is as well, like I've been doing different topics. So like yesterday I was kind of focusing on family, and a lot of the times these speakers will use examples of the seerah, like Rasul Salaam and the Sahabas as well. So you're learning so much more as well as having reminders as well. So it's honestly really amazing. And then there's like ones on like rights of inheritance, and then there's a lot of thick ones, and then there's also a lot of just like good general reminders as well. So I really have noticed a difference within my own salah since I've started doing this, because it just kind of realigns you back to your purpose. And I feel like so much of this dunya and so much of this world is revolved around us forgetting our purpose and falling into shop of shaitan, that if we don't purposely take time out to come back to our deen and like put effort into understanding and learning our deen, then we kind of are like goners, you know, like there's not a lot that can then help you. And that's why just trying and like just making an intention to try it is so important. Now, there are so many more steps I could do, and I could take this. I think I'm going to continue at this level for now, because I feel like there's a really good amount of information out there, there's a really good amount of knowledge out there, and I'm still like learning and gaining so much. Maybe like inshallah in a year and a half, 2 years, I will probably join one of the proper institutions, either Yaqeen Institute or Mufti Menk's one, and do a proper course as well. We'll want to do more in-depth studying, but right now I do like the variety that I've got, and I like the variety of speakers as well, because I feel like there's like specific speakers that can speak directly and like really help you at different times as well. They're always good all the time, of course, but like it's like, what am I sort of in tune for? So that I know it sounds like really simple, but genuinely just taking out a little bit of time every single day, and like again making that time, like thinking about your schedule, thinking like back to Ramadan and how we used to make that time. And also I am trying, this is something I'm trying to do now, is like after Zuhr and Asr every day I'm trying to read specific surahs just daily, just to get myself into the habit again of reading Quran. But again, it's just, for me, it's all about routines. And I feel like once I have set myself a good routine in place, generally it's good. Now I do recognise that with it being wedding season, we're going to have a lot of travelling up and down, it's going to be hard. But I need to stop focusing on the fact that we're going to have so much travelling, and just think, well, outside of the travelling, there's good periods of like 4, 5, 6 days where you're just at home, and so you can be productive in that time. It's not like the whole summer is now written off because of all of these like social events. So yeah, I don't know how helpful that video was at all, but I just want to just have like a little honest check-in with you guys about where I'm at. And yeah, there's the whole imposter syndrome thing when it comes to talking about Islam and things like that, and then obviously like what I'm personally doing to come out of my Iman dip. Inshallah, make dua for me, keep me in your duas please, because yeah, like that feeling of peace and serenity in Ramadan is just, I wish I could go back to it, because it's just, there's nothing else like it. And you're in that moment, you generally can't fathom how like outside of Ramadan we can just waste so much time, but then here we are. So it's a little bit crazy out here, but alhamdulillah, like I just genuinely believe that like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala like sees our intentions, knows what's in our hearts, and if we make the sincere intention to gain more knowledge and to understand more and to try and take one step closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah will take 10 steps towards us. Yeah, you just have to keep going, you have to keep repenting when you slip up and you make mistakes, and you have to keep going. Without sounding too preachy at the end there, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I think my skin is well and truly prepped now. I'll be back with a couple of hauls and some makeup videos, but let me know what else you want to see specifically, like Deen related or Islam related. I know a few of you guys have been asked for vlogs and stuff, so bear with me, inshallah. I will try and do that as well. And yeah, I have no real updates to share with you guys, so with that I am gonna go. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Bye.